if you give too much, you're denying us um, the the need to figure out how to be independent.
Hi, I'm Staci Neustadt. I am a speech language pathologist and the CEO at Making Sense of Autism, and I'm a student of Susan.
And I'm Susan Golubock. I am a now retired occupational therapist who has worked many, many years after I discovered even my own autism with other autistic individuals. I founded Making Sense of Autism because of my passion to not only understand my brain and how it worked differently, but to try to explain what I've learned to other people so that they're more understanding and therefore more accepting and more accommodating to autistic individuals.
So, our goal is to help you provide the right support without trying to fix autism, but by understanding it. So, whether you're a parent, teacher, therapist, or just someone who wants to learn, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe and join us every week. We talk about a new topic. Today, I want to talk about something that parents may not hear enough, that doing less for your child can actually help them do more for themselves. You know, being a parent, it's hard because when they're babies, we do everything for them. We have to feed them, dress them, bathe them. And then, when they get to be about 2 is when kids oftentimes want to do things themselves. It's when they start to say, I do it. So sometimes with autistic kids, that doesn't show up. And so sometimes parents continue to give and do for them. And then with my 9-year-old, I am actually having to implement this give and take to get her to be more independent, because she will ask me to do all kinds of things for her. And she's my baby. And so it's really, really difficult. So, Sue, today, kind of in that idea of give and take, having that balanced relationship, I want you to kind of tell us from the autistic perspective, why is this important for independence? And what are some small starts that parents can do to kind of help with teaching that independence with give and take?
Daisy, let me start with a statistic. 85% of autistic adults, and I'm not saying those that are profound, I am saying those that are level 1, 2, and 3. 85% are still living at home with their parents, unemployed. That speaks to the fact that we are not preparing autistics for independence. Um, the way that they are taught in school is here, do what I say, and you get a reward. They are rotely taught how to perform, not how to do it in their own way, in their own time, and become independent. Unless you help us um, by teaching us in a more flexible way, um, by helping us learning how to problem solve, i.e., when things don't go the way we expect them to, or I want you to do it, or I expect you to, but it doesn't come out that way. You know what? That's okay. It's a problem. Let's figure out how to make it work so that it does end up the way that it needs to be. Um, so we become, it's called learned dependence. And the more you give, and there's no question, because of our inconsistencies, in some minutes we could pull it all together and those connections link up and we could do it. And then the next thing, we are cognizant because we process a lot on our thinking level, which is not energy efficient. So therefore, we have to think about what we do more than you do. You do it easily and automatically. We have to think about it. So we get energy drained very easily. So there comes a time when we just can't. We don't have the mental or even physical energy to do what's needed to be done at that time. So, yes, we're going to either refuse or ask for help. Well, at that particular time, we do need your help. But if you give it when we don't absolutely need it, we want it because it's easier for us. And it's probably easier for you than to struggle with us to figure out how to make us do it. So it's easier for you to just do it for us. If you give too much, you're denying us um, the the need to figure out how to be independent.
And that's definitely key, is that need to be independent. Like you said, if we give too much, I want you to talk a little bit about, um, as you mentioned, in your therapy sessions, how did you incorporate that give and take, or kind of that relationship agreement, and how did you see it lead to independence?
Well, the relationship agreement has always been okay, I have the power to give you things that you want that you can't get by yourself. Um, but why should I want to be doing all the giving when you don't ever give me what I want and need from you back? And I would make this quite clear. And every autistic, when I would say those things, would be stunned. It's obvious no one has ever said that to them, that I have needs too. I have something that I want from you. Um, uh, and so, yes, they want me to take them out to the playground so they can swing. Um, as and they know I have the power as a therapist to do that, whereas they have to wait for the teacher and the whole class to do it. Um, and but I would say, no, no, you didn't do what I asked, which was to clean up what you were working on before we can go. And if you don't do that, why should I want to? If you don't want to do things for me, then I don't want to do things for you. I mean, I'm sure, and there's plenty of a child that I've said, and he would say, "But I want it," and I'd say, "Well, but you can't always have everything you want." I mean, I was being bluntly honest with them, and they were like, "Oh, that thought never occurred to me. No one ever said it that way before." But that's the honest truth. We have to be maybe a little more blunt in what our needs are, what we want from them, because people assume other people can read their minds. Typical people. And I'm sorry, the autistic is not going to be able to read your mind. You've got to say what it is your needs are and what they can do to meet that need, and that you do expect. If they want something from you, well, what am I going to get back in return?
And obviously, this has to happen during those moments when there is regulation and a
Well,
calm moment, and
yes.
things are going well. And I think maybe that might be the biggest challenge, is how do parents know when those moments are? How do they know if, okay, yes, my child can do this and give back to me, or they need support with to give back to me?
This is where they need to be able to read the autistic nonverbal language,
Mhm.
i.e., when they're just sitting there expressionless and low tone and not doing anything or not responding, clearly they don't have the energy. They're at a two when you need them to be at a 6 or 7 as far as energy in order to do what you're asking them to do. They're clearly not ready. Now, the child that is stomping and saying no, can't, no, I won't. Um, Obviously, that child is in a state of dysregulation.
Mhm.
And I mean, consider yourself when you are angry and upset and stressed. How do you react to the simplest request?
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
straw that breaks the camel's back. And
Mhm.
yeah, you need to, but they're not going to necessarily tell you, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm stressed. I can't do it. Uh, Language is one of the first thing that goes with an autistic when they are dysregulated or too fatigued. So you really have to look at the situation, look at their state of arousal and activity.
Mhm.
Are they in a ready state or are they under aroused, underactive, over aroused, overactive? Um, what is going on with them? And do you need to help them get into a more regulated state so that they are ready to meet your expectation? And then your response is simply, oh, I need you to do this, but you don't look like you're ready to do it. So you need to do something to get ready. I mean, I can wait or work with you until you're ready, but what do you need? And you can give them options if they're not sure what they need in terms. And then once you can see, and I've done this many times, I will simply sit there, and especially if they're really, really upset and there's nothing else I can do, as I say, that's okay. I can wait. I can wait until you come.
Mhm.
I'm here. I'll protect you, but I'm going to wait. And that works every time because they have nothing to fight against.
Mhm.
Now, I've let them know, what's happening is something you need to deal with. I can't help you with that, but I'm going to stay calm and collected. That's called co-regulation.
Mhm.
So if I'm calm about it, they're going to calm down because they have nothing to fight against.
So when they are in that ready state, letting them know, like, this is what I need from you, and even
Mhm.
asking them, what do you need, and then figuring out, okay, what needs to happen first, as you mentioned, like, I need you to clean these up, and then I'll take you to the park, or I'll take you to go swing. And in those moments where they're not ready, letting them know you're still there for them to be ready in that co-regulation, which is super, even though they don't appear to directly relate to independence or interdependence, they really do. Because as you mentioned at the beginning, if we just give, 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 they're going to lay in that hammock that you always mention. And so we're giving them that safety net. We're being there for them and co-regulating when needed and being interdependent when needed. But that hammock is too much of give, give, give.
Besides, what you're doing is modeling what they need to do under those circumstances.
Mhm.
I.e., when I'm upset, yes, you have to let go of everything and calm back down. Just telling them to calm back down. Does that work for you if someone just says, calm down, stop
Absolutely.
doing that? No, it only aggravates you more. But you model it. Okay, I can wait. When we're both calm, we'll do it. It's okay, I'm waiting. I need to give you time. So go ahead. You're modeling for them what they need to do when they're upset and you're not there.
Yeah.
And that what they do for themselves, which is give myself time, sit down, collect my thoughts. I know and I've seen what it looks like when someone is calm. I've seen it. This is what I want to accomplish. I've seen it and it works. So I know what to do now. It does lead to independence. You may not think that, but you're modeling for them. And then you model for them how to problem solve. You model for them how to, well, if you don't know how to get started, okay, let's talk about the steps. What's maybe the first step? Let's focus on just getting started,
Mm-hmm.
doing something, and then we'll worry about the next step after that step. Um, you're modeling for them how to handle life.
Mm-hmm.
So you are teaching independence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just talking with one of my families last week about a mom of three under four, and the 4-year-olds are twins. So
Oh
she
my.
definitely has her hands full. And we talked about there's a great chart on Pinterest about what chores kids can start doing at one age. And you'd be shocked at what chores a 4-year-old can do. I mean, they really can do a lot. But I think, again, we think four, they're still relying on us, but really they aren't. They can do so many things to help clean up and sort their toys and put things away. And so even just little things like that, again, our giving is, if we're cleaning up after them, if we're doing all these things that they can start to learn to do on their own. And that builds that relationship of, I'm going to do this, you can do this. And that's creating that independence of learning how to clean up, like you just talked about, learning the skills of life. All these little things we don't really think about or necessarily catch ourselves doing, but they drain us. And not only do they drain us, we're doing a disservice of not teaching. I love how you just put it, teaching life to our kids. And even again, it doesn't matter if your child is low support needs, high support needs. When we model these things, they do pick up on these patterns. So
We're good
important.
imitators.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Great information. So these little things that parents could even start to do is modeling the emotion, modeling the action, modeling these things that you want them to start to do so you can kind of balance that give and take a little bit.
And the neat
Thanks.
thing about it, Stacy,
Yeah.
is that parents often give too much because they think it's faster and easier
Yeah, that
to
too.
just give it and then deal with it because they're in a hurry to do
Yeah.
things. But when they start modeling and they feel themselves calming down, taking one step at a time, um, not only are they going to get the results that they want, but it actually feeding their needs because they're not less stressed. This business of give and get it over with is stressful.
Hmm.
So learning those good habits actually works to help parents feel better too.
And gives them back time. If you think about if we are doing these things for them, that's taking our time. But if we teach them how to do it themselves, we can both be getting ready to go out the door at the same time instead of doing it for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great advice. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks for asking, Stacy.
Important.